Hey, cutie pies. I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Days of Our Lives edition. A scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to have to give it about a 7, 7.5. All right, let's just get right into it. So we see that Abigail has told Jennifer, her mom, what Gwen told her, which is that she killed Abigail's mom. And so, of course, Abigail is like, wait, no, that can't be true because Gwen denied it. She said, even when you accused her, said you were going to drug her up and everything, she still denied that it was her. So why would she say this now? Maybe was she lying then, or is she lying now? Is she just saying that now so that she could hurt them or whatever? So they're very confused by this. Then we see Jack at the prison with Gwen, and he is just trying to figure out what is going on. He's just trying to talk to her and see, like, why did you do this? And of course, Gwen is throwing a pity party, and he says, no, don't do that, because Jennifer, I was done with you. But Jennifer is the one who said, don't be, you still got to talk to her. You still got to, have a relationship with her and everything. So that's why, one of the reasons why he's there still. Okay, so then we see, she starts telling him about her mom and how it's the same. What she's done is the same thing that her mom would done, as far as putting things in her arm, and just all the self-loathing and self-hate and just all the bad deeds that she does. When she wants to be good, and but she was just so in love with Xander that she couldn't think straight because she just didn't want him to leave her. That was her main concern. Like, I don't want this man leaving me. You know, and so, because of that, she's acted horribly. She did things to Sarah that put the drug in Sarah. And she said, and Jack tells her, you don't know if Xander would have picked you or not. And she says, but I do. I do know that he was never going to choose me. When it came down to me and Sarah, she said, he just left me hanging. He left me hanging, and it was all based on Sarah. And I said that too. Like, Xander, some of this stuff, if you had just been loyal to Sarah, I don't know. I feel like if he had just been loyal to Sarah and said, "Hey, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna date anyone else. I'm here, gonna be here for Sarah." But I also understand that his heart was broken, and Gwen was one of the people that broke his heart because she came back as Sarah, in disguise, and was like, "Oh, I'm done with you, and I don't want to be with you and stuff." So, I don't know. But, he just tells her, you have to take responsibility for the things that you do. You can't just keep blaming other people for this. And he's absolutely right. And so then we see Gwen is just saying that, all of this, she loves Xander, and he's the one person. She's having self-pity and just like, go ahead and hate me. Just say you hate me and all that. Like, girl, stop that. Okay, so then we see, who do we go to? We go to Xander, who is actually with Maggie, and he goes over to visit Maggie, and she said, aren't you supposed to be married and all this? And he tells her no, and then he tells her what happened and everything. And she's like, Maggie gives reads Xander the right too, which is that you left Sarah as soon as you realized she couldn't be the Sarah that you wanted her to be anymore. You were ready to move on. And she says, I'm sorry. She apologizes to him. She said, I'm mad at Gwen, not at you. But honestly, Maggie was telling the truth. When you're upset with someone, you speak a little bit of the truth, and that was the truth. um I don't think, he pretty much used Gwen to fill in a hole that he had for Sarah. And I'm not blaming Xander for it, but I am saying, like, he caused, I'm not blaming him for it. It's not his fault that Gwen was crazy about him and everything, and what happened to Sarah. But I feel like if he had just been more straightforward with Gwen and telling her, I want to be with Sarah, it would have been different. So they talk about the antidote, and they said Rolf has got, in trouble, so he's in maximum security. But then he says, "Oh, I do know a way that we could possibly get it." So then the next thing we know, we see he goes to the prison to visit, I mean the jail to visit Gwen, and he comes in and he says, she's like, "You came to see me?" He said, "No, not really." And she was just like, "Do you hate me? Like, how do you feel, or whatever?" And she said, so he tells her, "I would like, what do I have to do to get the antidote for you?" And she says, "Oh, so that's why you came." And he said, "Yes." And then she said, "Listen to how you phrase that. What do I have to do for you to give me the antidote?" And she said, "You don't even believe there's a good bone in my body where I would have just gave it, that you could have just asked me and I would have gave it." And she said, "Sorry, what you would have to do is give me you. I want to be with you." And he said, "No." And she said, "You hate me so much you can't even lie about it." And he was like, "Yes." and Jack was like, "Don't do it. Don't do this." Because Jack's so dramatic. But she was like, "Okay, now I see where we are." He was like, "Don't do it. Don't stick the needle back in your arm. Don't stick the stick back in your arm or whatever." And she gives it to him. She ends up giving it to him, and he doesn't have to do anything. Because at the end of the day, like she told Xander, "I love you." Like, honestly, it's a sick love, but she did all of this for love. And so then we see that, where do we go to now? So she leaves or whatever. I mean, Xander leaves and he runs back to Maggie and he lets Maggie know that they have the antidote. Gwen gave it to him. So then Jack is talking to Gwen, and she is just, hold on. Jack is talking to Gwen, and she's just, because she mentioned something about murder earlier, and she said, "Oh, I was just talking about, I could have murdered Sarah, because I didn't know what that drug was really gonna do or whatever." But really, she was talking about Jennifer's mom, and because Gwen is in there talking about, you know, she wants to be a better person, a changed person or whatever. And they were like, and she's sorry for what she did to Sarah. And they were like, "Are you sorry for that?" But what? And Jennifer and Abigail come in, and Jennifer says, "Well, what about what you did to my mom? What about killing my mom?" And that was it for them. So then we go over to Chad and Sonny, and Chad is letting Sonny know everything, and they're gloating and they're happy. And then Leo comes in. Not for nothing, I love me some Leo. So Leo comes in and he tells them, he was like, "I really did love Craig. And I know y'all think y'all helped, but we loved each other. And now you're making him as miserable as I am." And Sonny was like, "You ain't love no Craig. You was doing that for money." And Leo said, "No. What I did with you was for money. What I did with Craig was not." And he said, "I faked everything with you. Like, it was just for a check or whatever." And Sonny was like, "No, you didn't. What about the moans and the groans and the screams and the yells and the all this?" And he said, "Fake, honey. It was all fake. Like, I didn't love you. I love Craig." So, child, Craig is, so Sonny is a little bit in his feelings, because you could look and see. And, but Leo tells them, he was like, "I'm gonna get y'all back for this." It was like, "I'm gonna get y'all back for this." And they like, "Please, Leo, you're not gonna do nothing." And he says a phrase, I can't remember, it's in French or whatever. He says a phrase, and they're like, "Whatever, bye." And so, but they look up the phrase, and it's pretty much telling them that, it's a Henry, I think it's Henry or Louis, it's one of them, phrase. And they're just, it's telling them that, "I'm gonna get my revenge on y'all. Just wait and see." And then so Chad got worried, because he was like, "Ugh, the point was to get him out of our lives, not to cause this." And she was like, Sonny was like, "He is out of our lives." He said, "No, he is a vindictive queen." I think he said he's vindictive. He's just gonna come back harder on us. And so then Sonny had Chad's like tablet. He says, "You get alerts about yourself for work?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "But you're not at work." It was like, "What is it?" And it was an article that Leo did about Chad, and about how Chad wanted to be with him or whatever. I said, "Ooh, he already have started." Okay, Leo. But anyway, so speaking of Leo, we go over to Craig's house, a hotel room, and Nancy is there, and Nancy is just there to tell Craig she's sorry that happened to him, and that she's just being a friend to him. So they talk, He he does say that he can't believe it, but that, did you come over here to glow? Do you. But she's not. Nancy's not like that with him, because she truly does love him, and even though they're not going to be together, she still loves him. But anyways, so they're talking, and he's just like, you have every reason to tell me I told you so and all that. But she says no. She says, as a matter of fact, he was like, didn't you have a date last night? She said he stood me up, and they were like, look at us, look at the two of us just being hurt in love, trying to find love or whatever. And so they're just like, yeah, but they're just gonna be friends. They're friends, and they talk. And she does tell him, well, what if it wasn't fake? What if Leo really does care for you? And at that time, Leo comes to the door, and he knocks. I'll get you. I'm almost done, and I'll get you some water. Okay. Okay. So he comes to the door and he knocks, and Leo says, "Can we be alone?" And Nancy was like, and he was like, please, Nancy. And she says, Craig. And Craig says, thank you for coming by. I love you. Thank you for caring about me. But I need to handle this. And she says, okay. And she leaves. And then Leo is there, and and they're going to talk. But I did see that Craig is actually supposed to be leaving the soap. So I guess that's why this couldn't work out. And maybe Leo's gonna, because he's going to leave Leo, it's gonna leave Leo with a lot of time on his hands to go after Chad and Sonny and anyone else he feels wronged him, because he feels Gwen was wronged too. Because he was like, at the end of the day, them people, we were all happy, and y'all had to butt your nose in. Like, why do you care? And that's what he was telling Sonny. Why do you care? And Sonny, he was like, it's because you want me back, Sonny. That's why you care, and whatever. So I don't know, y'all. That was Days of Our Lives today. It's weird how they have, okay, when it's these episodes, these people are gonna show. Um, just left us hanging with Sierra and all them. But all right, guys, that was Days of Our Lives for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow with a new episode of What Happened on the Soaps, Days of Our Lives.